A child of the Omnissiah asked me if I'm interested in building the most powerful deck for just $25. I'd never shy away from a challenge. So using my cEDH experience, these are the 3 fundamentals I built around for the best commander deck that you can use at any power level. Number 1. Mana. Taking a look at some of the top cEDH decks like Kinnan and Rograk, we know that having more mana sooner means you get to take more actions and take higher quality actions ahead of your opponents. If we can play a 5 mana spell on turn 2 while everyone's making 2 mana plays, you can imagine how ahead you would be. The first rule to building a powerful commander deck is focusing on our mana. We could play Rograk in cards like Paradise Mantle or Springleaf Drum, but without Mox Amber and free spells within our budget range, we needed another option. This is why I settled on Malcolm and Kedis. They're both cheap commanders we could get out quickly, and together the pair can generate up to 3 treasures per swing with Malcolm, ramping you by 3 mana per turn. When paired with something like Guild Artisan, you could generate even more treasures. Good mana fixing lands are pricey, which means it's harder to play high color decks efficiently within our budget without relying on green or dedicating more slots in your deck to fix it with ramp spells. This means if we don't want to spend our budget in our lands, we're pushed to play 1 or 2 colors, and Malcolm and Kedis also do a good job fixing any color we need with treasures. Together, they give us the foundation of making a good commander deck, which leads us to the second fundamental of a strong deck. Number 2. Having a strong finisher. cEDH is all about getting to the finish line with efficient combos and tutors to increase consistency. But at $25, we're not getting any good tutors.
I'm poor.
And we won't have access to efficient combos to finish the game. If you watch my video on game plans, you'd know that even at this tier, we need to be thinking about what our game plan is. Our game plan is relatively simple. We play Malcolm, Kedis, swing and make mana, and try to resolve as many big threats as we can. We don't have access to Ad Nauseam, but this is where I just pulled out any big mana spell within my budget, which happened to be a lot of Eldrazi like Bane of Bala Ged, Desolator Twin, and Ulamog's Crusher. You can also get an Atali Primal Storm for really cheap. We can also play spells like Aminatu's Augury to flip over a lot of cards, and Sunbird's Invocation to give everything pseudo cascade. We have a second game plan of just playing into the Pirates theme of the deck, with Kindred synergies to use them as ways to get more treasures, like having an unblockable Storm Fleet Sprinter. We can also play Breaches to exile cards to play off our opponent's decks, or Fathom Fleet Swordjack to deal direct damage to players equal to the number of artifacts we control. Lightning Rig Crew also generates 3 treasures per activation with Malcolm in play. Since it's an Izzet deck, we're going to be playing a lot of spells. So Talrand is a cheap pickup here to become a single card threat to generate 3/3 flyers, and Levan can also pump your board with non-creature spellcasts. We can also rely on a Runechanter's Pike or Blood Mist to help Malcolm close out the table faster. The last plan is comboing with Niv Mizzet Parun and Classic Curiosity or Tandem Lookout combo. So we have 3 good plans of attack, with some mid-range plays and high-end finishers like Eldrazi or comboing with a Curious Dragon Nerd. This takes us to our last fundamental of a powerful commander deck. Before we get to point number 3, if you like this content, please subscribe for even more commander deck building strategy videos or support me on Patreon. Number 3, interaction. We have plans of attack, but we still need ways to protect our plans and disrupt our opponents. cEDH generally runs an ample amount of interaction to disrupt opponents and help pick better moments to just go for it. Even though our play pattern here is different, we still need interaction. Good interaction is expensive, especially made for commander cards like Deflecting Swat or Fierce Guardianship. Even staples like Counterspell is $1 or $2. But luckily, this is why having a commander who generates a lot of mana helps compensate for a budget and also quality problem. We can play spells like Cancel, Refute, and Supreme Will and feel less of the higher mana costs thanks to the treasure generation. If we have enough mana in play, we can even play something like a Spell Burst with buyback to counter another spell later. Izzet does not have good permanent removal, which is why I'm playing bounce spells like Divide by Zero or Wipe Away to temporarily deal with a spell or a permanent, while we use red spells like Demon Bolt, Frantic Firebolt, or Abrade to answer creatures. To finish out the deck, I added loot effects or cantrips to help dig for the right card we need. This includes underrated powerhouses, that is, Collector's Vault, but also classics like Izzet Charm, Anticipate, or even a Prying Eyes to help dig a little deeper. By focusing on mana generation, impactful finishers, and strategic interaction, we can construct a powerful commander deck that's both exciting and strong, even at such a budget. If you want another commander deck building lesson, you should definitely check out this really important lesson on creating game plans for your commander decks. Thanks for watching. Bye!